Okay, here's a video on the talent gap between the Big 10 and the SEC. Some folks are saying, it doesn't really matter how many 4- and 5-star players you have on your roster, but the only thing that really matters is how well you coach them up. And yeah, there's some truth definitely to, how good of a coach you have, but you can't just say that. I mean, the higher talent you have definitely gives you an advantage. As you'll see in this video, there is a tremendous correlation between the level of talent you have and your success. The talent rank here, you see this is the talent rank. This tells you how high the team was ranked in comparison to all the other football teams in the country for recruiting and what they have on their roster for 2021. So as you can see, Alabama here was number one. That's number one. So Alabama had 14 5-stars in 2021 on the roster. They had 60 4-stars and 11 3-stars. They were ranked number one out of all the college football teams. All right. Georgia, underneath them, they were number two, right? 19 5-stars, 47 4-stars, and 19 3-stars. Two SEC teams at the very top, right? So the SEC is in the blue and the Big Ten's in the green, all right? So as you can see, the blue teams, there are more blue teams towards the top than there are green teams, right? So 5 of the top 10 teams in the country are SEC teams. 5 of the top 10 teams in the country are SEC. So you got Texas A&M is number 8, Florida number 7, LSU number 5, Georgia number 2, Alabama number 1. And the only Big 10 team in that mix is Ohio State, right? 7 of the top 20 teams are SEC teams. So you come all the way down here to Tennessee at number 19, okay? So you got Tennessee, Auburn, Texas A&M, Florida, LSU, Georgia, Alabama. So that's 7 SEC teams and only 3 Big 10 teams in the top 20, right? And then if we go all the way down to the top 30, Mississippi State is, number 30. Then you have 11 of the top 30 teams are SEC teams talent-wise, and then only 5 are Big 10. Only 5 are Big 10 teams. Yeah, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State are the only Big 10 teams, right, in the top 30 talent-wise. Okay? So there are more than twice as many SEC teams as Big 10 teams talent-wise in the top 30. There's more than twice as many SEC teams, talent-wise, in the top 30 than the Big 10 teams. Now we're going to show, from 31 to 68. These are the lower-ranking teams out of the Big 10 and the SEC. And as you can see, past number 30, you're going to get a lot more Big 10 teams when it comes to talent. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them are going to be Big 10, and only 3 are going to be SEC. That just shows you the SEC dominance in recruiting. Now here, you can see the Big 10 had 27. So this is the Big 10 here. They had 27 total 5-stars, right, out of all the Big 10 teams. And the SEC over here, they had 59 total 5-stars, right? So the SEC had more than twice the number of 5-star players than the Big 10 in 2021. Twice as many, more than twice as many. And over here, you can see the Big 10. The Big 10 had 251 4-star players, and the SEC had 426 4-star players, right? 251 to 426. So the SEC had 42% more 4-star players than the Big 10 did. 42% more, all right? It is top-heavy in both conferences. So, for example, Alabama and Georgia, Alabama's got 14, Georgia's got 19 of the 5-star players, right? So Alabama and Georgia both combined for 56% of all the 5-star players in the SEC out of all the 14 schools. And then over here, you have Ohio State. They have 16 5-star players and 27 total. So Ohio State literally has 59% of all the 5-star players in the Big 10 in 2021. Very top-heavy. The difference is the Big 10 is top-heavy with 1 team, and the SEC is top-heavy with 2 teams. And you come over here, and here's another way of looking at it. Penn State is the number 3, is the 3rd highest Penn State is the third highest talent ranked team in the Big 10. The third highest in the Big 10. They got 1 5-star and 43 4-stars, right? But when you compare them to LSU, who's the number 3 in the SEC has 6 5-stars and 43 4-stars, right? 6. They've got 5 more 5-stars than Penn State. So Penn State is more in line with Auburn. Auburn's the number 6th team talent-wise in the SEC. They've got 2 5-stars and 44 4-stars. So Penn State's roster is very similar to the Auburn roster, right? But Penn State's number 3 in the Big 10. Auburn is number 6 in the SEC. The Big 10's 5th highest ranked team is Nebraska. 1 5-star and 22 4-stars. And when you compare them with Texas A&M, Texas A&M's got 5 5-stars, 4 more 5-stars, and 21 more 4-stars. So Texas A&M has way, way, way more talent in the 5 and 4-star categories than Nebraska, even though they're both ranked number 5 talent-wise in each respective conference. So there's a huge difference. So the average roster talent ranking of the SEC is 22. All right, here's the average ranking of where the SEC teams fall. The average ranking is number 22 in the country, and the Big Ten's average ranking is number 35. So when two SEC teams play against each other, the talent on the field averages out to be about the 22nd best in the country. And when two Big Ten teams are playing against each other, the average is about 35, the 35th ranked squads in the country. So there's a big difference. The SEC has 5 teams with 5 or more 5-stars on their roster. So Texas A&M has 5 5-stars, Florida, LSU, Georgia, Alabama. 5 teams have 5 or more 5-star players on the roster. In the Big Ten, there's only one team that has 5 or more 5-stars, and that's Ohio State. That's a huge difference. The SEC has 6 teams with 40 or more 4-stars. So Auburn's got 44 4-stars. Texas A&M, Florida, LSU, Georgia, Alabama. They all have over 44-star players, right? Whereas in the Big Ten, you've only got 3 teams that have over 44-star players. It's Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State, right? So the SEC has 10 teams with 20 or more 4-star players. Kentucky, Arkansas, South Carolina, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas A&M, Florida, LSU, Georgia, Alabama. They all have more than 20 4-star players, whereas the Big Ten only has 4 teams with 20 or more 4-star players. That's Nebraska, Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. And you can see there's a big drop-off in talent from number 3 Penn State in the Big Ten to number 4 Wisconsin. So when you get out of the top 3 in the Big Ten, right, there's a big drop-off in talent between Penn State and Wisconsin. Penn State's got 43 4-stars and Wisconsin's got 16. Whereas in the SEC, there's a much more gradual decline in the rosters. There's more talent, and the talent is spread out more amongst the teams. You're going from 50 4-stars to 43, 44, 26, 21, 19, 21, 17, 21. So the SEC, the talent level of the teams are a lot more even, basically, in the SEC. Once you get outside of those top 2, big teams. And that's why the SEC seems to cannibalize themselves more often during the season, because the teams are more evenly matched, basically, right? Some folks say the number of 5-star and 4-star players doesn't matter. You can just coach them up, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. And superior coaching is always going to get better results to a degree. That is true. But let's take a look at the won-loss records of the teams, and you're going to see it clearly shows a correlation between having more, higher-ranked players than having less higher-ranked players. It's almost like common sense, right? But I get a lot of comments of people saying that it doesn't matter, so I just don't know where they're coming from with that. At any rate, let's kind of make it black and white. So when you look at the Big Ten, right, you got in the top 7 teams in the Big Ten, when it comes to talent-wise, only one of the top 7 teams had a losing record in 2021, and that was Nebraska. Okay, and if you watch Nebraska at all this year, I mean, my God. They were losing every game by like less than a touchdown, and it was painful. It was always coming down in the last possession, and they were just somehow losing all these games. Clearly, these, top 7 ranked when it comes to talent, they're doing better than the teams underneath them that have less talent. Because, when you go from 8 to 14 on the talent rankings on the Big 10, you've got 4 teams with losing records, and you got 3 winning teams. 4 teams with losing records and 3 teams with winning records. So it's very clear the teams with the higher ranked rosters are winning more games, right? And the same is true in the SEC to a certain degree. But the SEC, like I said, they cannibalize themselves because there's more talent spread out between the teams. They're more evenly matched. So you've got literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC teams that had 6-6 records because week in and week out, they're more evenly matched. So they're going to win this week against Tennessee, and then the next week they're going to go up against, A&M, and they might lose, and, vice versa, all this kind of stuff. But you can see in the SEC that the one team that had a losing record in 2021 is Vanderbilt, and they were dead last when it comes to their, talent ranking, right? Also, if you saw the video I made on the last 15 college football championships, you know that all of the last 6 teams to win the college championship all had a talent ranking of 9 or better. No one outside of the top 9 has won the championship in the last 6 years. Okay? You need a top 10 ranking, basically. Also, 11 of the past 15 national championship winners were from the SEC. The SEC has been dominating the last 15 championships. Only 1 team was from the Big 10 in the last 15 championships. And again, that is due in a large part to the talent that we're looking at right here in these spreadsheets. Now, the talent rankings don't predict everything, of course, and you can't just say this team has more 5 stars than that, so they're always going to win, but it definitely shows some strong trends, right? So the SEC is going to add Oklahoma and Texas to the conference in the coming years, maybe even as soon as 2023. And they both rank very highly in talent. Oklahoma was number 6 this year, talent-wise, and Texas was ranked number 11. So the talent gap between the SEC and the other conferences looks like it's going to increase even more in the coming years. And I'm not sure that's a good thing, all right? I think it's important to have a strong Pac-12, a strong Big 10, and even a strong Big 12. It just makes it more competitive and more fun as opposed to one conference kind of dominating everything, I think. But we'll see how it all plays out. So what do you think? Do you think the Big 10 has a chance to start evening out the recruiting numbers in the coming years? Or is the SEC just going to keep dominating and maybe even make things even worse? And if you think they can close the gap, how do you think they're going to be able to do this? Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Take care and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.